I think that Cardano is incredible, and its native token called ADA reaching the price of $10 during this bull run wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. And the reason is because I think that Cardano is actually very amazing if you consider what it was at the time back when it launched. Because at that time, like years ago, we're talking about, right? The standard was kind of very bad. Like for instance, you take a look at Ethereum, sky-high gas fees, arguably not even scalable. Now, back then, that was very acceptable. But if you actually take a look at it as of right now, that's not, right? But then at that time, even like years ago, Cardano, they already had this forward-thinking mindset where they were like, okay, we don't want that, right? We don't need that. We want something fast. We want something scalable. We want something very decentralized and also very low in gas fees. And I really like that because, again, it shows the forward-thinking mindset that Cardano had even back then. It showcases how Cardano is pretty much one of the originators, if you think about it. You know, the way you take a look at Cardano is like this. It's basically like the Tesla of layer 1 blockchains. You got to consider this. Back then when Elon Musk, when he was focused on Tesla, not many companies out there were focused on, electric cars. People thought it was caca, it was trash, all this type of stuff. But you take a look at it as of right now. Many companies out there, they're looking to go electric. You take a look at Jaguar. You take a look at, for instance, Volvo. Just many companies out there, again, they care about electrification nowadays. Now, some people may argue that, hey, it's moving on with the times. I understand that, but still, you take a look at Tesla, they pretty much started this whole revolution, if that makes sense. When you take a look at Cardano, again, it's kind of like Tesla. In the beginning, it was kind of misunderstood. A lot of people didn't really believe in it. But then as of right now, Cardano, much like Tesla, is doing very well. Not to mention, even as of right now, despite the stiff competition, you take a look at like Solana, for instance, Avalanche, Algorand, Cardano can still hang with the big dogs, even despite launching like way back then, its fundamentals, even till this day, are still like a lot better than many layer 1 blockchains out there. So that's amazing right there. It's like Tom Brady. If you think about it, right? When he started, he was really good. And then when he was in his 40s, he still won a Super Bowl with the Buccaneers. So when you think about it, Cardano is like Tom Brady, basically. It was good back then. It's still good right now. And I think that Cardano is going to age like fine wine because when you have a layer 1 blockchain this fundamentally amazing, that was good from the get-go, I don't think it's going to disappear off into the abyss. Now, some people may argue that, okay, when it comes to Cardano, there's many competitors out there. People are not going to build on this. But I disagree because, again, when something has a community this amazing, when something is this well established, and not to mention, when you take a look at, an ecosystem this impressive, I don't think it's going to really have a hard time competing with the others. And not to mention, again, it's very, relatively speaking, established nature, I think does give it a very unique advantage because other layer 1 blockchains out there, they're not proven. We don't really know how well they're going to do. Like, let's say 10 years down the line, or let's say even just a couple of years. But when it comes to Cardano, I think it's something that's going to be around for a very long time. So having an amazing layer 1 blockchain like this, I don't think it's going to disappear anytime soon. And for the people out there complaining and saying that this bull run is going to be so bad, I think there needs to be some context when it comes to this because people keep saying that 2021 was like the peak, but I disagree. If you take a look at it, back then, there was far less institutional investors, far less enterprise adoption, and also at that time, people were less knowledgeable. If you think about it, many people I knew back then, right, they thought that Cardano was a meme coin. You got to think about that, which is kind of crazy to think about, but as of right now, not many people think that way anymore because now there's more content, there's more things to consume in terms of understanding more about cryptocurrencies. And also those boring years, like in 2022, 2023, I think they gave time for people to actually study more about amazing projects, I think much like Cardano. However, even besides that point, even during the peak of the 2021 bull run, there was roughly only around 300 million crypto owners. Very impressive for that time. And Bitcoin did very well. Altcoins, of course, ADA did very well. But as of right now, there's over 600 million crypto owners according to Crypto.com research. So basically like double that. Could you imagine how amazing this bull run could be? But then the crazy thing is that we're not even at the peak of the bull run yet. Why do I think that way? It's because once I see something like Litecoin breaking a new all-time high and even some other Kaka projects doing very well, then I know the bull run is in fifth gear. But it's not that moment yet. And even still, despite that, Cardano, its native token called ADA is already doing this well. So imagine, let's say 6 months from right now, let's say 10 months from right now, things could be a totally different story. But again, it's a waiting game. However, it's part of the game. That's the way you take a look at it. Instead of day trading or using leverage or swing trading, I'm not going to do that, right? I'd much rather just hold and just wait because many people out there, they want to draw some random triangle. They want to draw like a random underwear, like a thong or something like that. And then they say, oh yeah, you have to use like a 69X and then short or long or whatever like this. But that's just not my jam. A lot of my friends who do that, even for years, they don't even get it right. So I don't want to dabble with that type of stuff. I'd much rather just wait. And it's not like $10 is this crazy thing. I mean, if it were to go to that price, considering current circulating supply, market cap would be around $350 billion. So it's not too bad. Not to mention as well, when you take a look at, again, all the bullish factors, I just don't see why not. Why do I think it's not that bad? Ethereum exceeded this by over $200 billion back in 2021. Keep in mind, again, at a time where there was far less institutional investors, far less enterprise adoption, far less crypto owners just in general. So I think this time around, with the added bullish factors, I don't see why ADA won't go, let's say, to the price of $10. Now, some people out there previously, they thought that ADA was only going to go to the price of like $2, $3 or whatever like that. But then since ADA is, of course, doing very well, $10, now some people think it's a little bit bearish. Now they think $15, $20. But for me, I'm going to stick with that. And here's the thing as well. Sometimes people like to think that, okay, when it comes to, ADA, right, they think that it's going to be this straight shot all the way up. But I disagree. I think there's going to be some pullbacks along the way, and it's only expected. Now, this is just my prediction. I don't know for sure. But again, when I see like, let's say a 10%, 20% drop, who cares about that? I care more so about the long term, and I'm still up on my ADA anyways. So let's say there's some minor pullbacks. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Not to mention Bitcoin, even though all signs are indicating that it could very well exceed the price of $100,000 like very easily, and hopefully in the very near future. But, even still, despite that, Bitcoin hasn't reached $100,000 yet, let alone $150,000. So when people like to say that, oh yeah, when it comes to ADA, if it doesn't do this in the next week or whatever, that means it's trash. Well, I do believe that the journey is still far. The way you take a look at this is that it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's going to take time. I've been waiting when it comes to ADA ever since 2021. So again, it's like a marathon. But the crazy thing about it is that the marathon feels like it's almost over because, again, things as of right now are indicating that, hey, this bull run is getting started. It could be massive. It's going to take some time though. But again, it just kind of feels like it's nearing the finish line. I think in 2025, something like ADA and also a bunch of other altcoins are going to showcase what they're capable of. So it's not that much longer anyways. It's not like it's like 5 years later or something like that. So that's why I'm still staying consistent when it comes to ADA. I'm still dollar cost averaging. Again, like I mentioned earlier on the video, anytime on income, acquiring, holding, and just waiting. The crazy thing is that I haven't sold any ADA whatsoever ever since 2021. Like ever since I started acquiring it, I haven't sold anything. So if you actually take a look at it, it's been quite a while. It's been a journey, right? You have to consider all the nonsense that happened in 2022 and 2023, but I still stay patient because I still believe in its future, even when many people did not. I still believe in Cardano because I think the ecosystem is heading in the right direction. Even back in August, Cardano was still top 3 in the world in terms of crypto development activity. So it's not doing bad at the price of $10. That wouldn't surprise me whatsoever during this bull run. That right there is still around a 12x from here. It was a lot better, by the way, the hypothetical upside when I was first started talking about ADA, but the past is the past, whatever. I still think anything over 10x is good for me. So again, that wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. And I'm very bullish and excited when it comes to Cardano. I think it's one of the pioneers. I think it's incredible. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. I greatly appreciate it. It's been Lee the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.